Terry here from Terial Arts. Today I'm excited to be with Jeannie. She lives close to me. She's in Grass Valley, and she has made this wonderful t-shirt quilt. And I would like her to explain a little bit more about it and how she used Terial Magic. So take it away, Jeannie.
Okay, this is a quilt that I just finished for my daughter who lives up in Portland, or near Portland in Sherwood, Oregon. And she and her boyfriend are in charge of a car show every year in Sherwood. So you can see that all these motifs, or most of them, have to do with a car show. And this will be a birthday present for his 60th birthday, and they don't know about it yet. What I've done is she gave me a bag of t-shirts, and I took the best ones. I left out the ones that were kind of worn and probably would not show well. And I cut out the motif, and he's a big guy, so these were large pieces. And I cut them all so that they would end up 15.5 by 17. And so anytime we didn't have one quite that big, I added extra fabric. And then the cars, which the quilter put on here for me.
Zoom in here.
The cars are the ones that are going to show up on the plain fabrics. And when I didn't have the right colors, like this green one right here, I used the back of this shirt, and here's the rest of the green, so it all tie in and the colors would work.
Oh,
so here's a fill in, here's a fill in, here's a green fill in. And so these colors are all what took place within the shirts themselves. And as you can see, the checkered flag, which means you've won the race, is in quite a few of them. So I asked for some black and white check, and where I went, they just happened to have that. So that worked out really well for the in-between pieces, which we call the sashing. And then on the back side, I was able to find the perfect fabric, which is all classic cars. So instead of using interfacing on the back of each of your shirt, which is not a happy thing to do, because if you touch your iron to any of this paint that's on here, you'll be very unhappy because it'll rub off on your iron. It'll be a big mess, and it also makes the quilt much thicker and heavier, and there are quilters who don't want to deal with that. So here's a shirt that I would be maybe preparing for another quilt, and what you do to get started, so you don't spray the whole thing with Terial Magic, you cut out a square and just save the part that's going to be useful to you.
And the square would be just a little bit larger than your panel, right?
Yeah, and it's odd shape. You've just cut it out sort of willy-nilly.
Oh, okay.
Willie Nelson, willy-nilly. And so you spray around the edges. You don't have to spray this because you're never going to sew that anyway. So after you've cut it out, you clean it up with your ruler and your rotary cutter. So everyone is squared up. And then you add, the other pieces to make them all exactly the same.
The t-shirt fabric that's also been treated with Terial Magic.
The t-shirt fabric, yes. And here's one right here that's been treated. And if you wanted to treat this, you could, but it's not going to stretch, so it's really not a problem. This is normal cotton fabric. It's just woven. It's not a problem. So then you just spray it, make sure it's saturated all around the edges, and I lay it in the sun. It'll be dry in 15, 20, half hour, very, very quickly it'll be dry. And then you square it up, and then you can sew them together, and it doesn't move. It's so wonderful you don't even need to use pins. At some places, you very, very seldom do you need to use pins to put it together to keep it straight, because it's not going to shift around, because obviously this is stretchy material, and it solves that problem.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Jeannie. I look forward to seeing your other quilts and future posts.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.